Hello and welcome back, children. This is your host, your mentor, Akash. Children, we've already discussed about finite verbs, and today we are categorizing or we are like defining the non-finite forms of verbs. We've not studied the second categorization under participles. So we're going to do this today. But before that, we're going to go through a quick review. Infinitives. Infinitives are base verb forms used exceedingly to or successively to the preposition called to. So if I say to walk, to talk, to see, to gesture, to look, to type, all these are verb forms or the base verb forms used along with to, and therefore this sort of combination or this sort of setup forms infinitives. Right? Now gerunds talk about any verb that accepts ing as the suffix. Going, then looking, then taking, then swimming. If these ing suffixed forms are used as nouns, they are called gerunds. So we are trying to shape a word out of a verb. तो एक शब्द बन रहा है जो कि verb से बन रहा है. So the word comes out from the verb family, but it does not function as a verb. It functions rather as a noun, and it will definitely function as a gerund, right? Talk about participles. Now, participles are divided into two segregation, into two further categories: the present participle and the past participle. If I only talk about the present participle right now, I would say that it's the again the ing, the continuous form of any verb that is neither being used as a noun nor as a verb, but it is rather being used as an adjective because possibly it modifies a noun or a noun phrase, or it might be used as an adverb because possibly again perhaps it's modifying or it's adorning a, a verb or a verb phrase. So if anything, any word, as simple as that, right? So let's today talk about neither gerunds nor the present participle but the past participle. Now past participle is usually referred to as the third form of every verb because we've already discussed several times and repeatedly I've told you about the three forms. Type 1, that is form 1, form 2 and form 3. These have general names, that is, or those are the first form has simple present, the second form is simple past, and the third form is uh, past participle. So today we're going to talk about past participle, and it is usually referred to as the third form of the verb, of every verb. So now let's talk about the three forms that are inherited by every verb. All right. So this is the basic generalization. It's a tabular presentation of a few examples here: act, acted, acted; go, went, gone; awake, awoke, awoken; drink, drank, drunk; give, gave, given. I've tried to quote a few more examples, as many as possible. But along with this, there's going to be another worksheet in the next week itself where you will have to exercise all these teachings and tutorials of mine so that you feel accomplished of what you've studied hitherto or until now. All right. So talk about beat, beat, beaten. Now what you are observing here is that a few of these verbs, a few of these examples inherit three different forms, whereas a few of them show two out of three forms similar and the third different. Whereas you will in the further slides or in the on the further screens you will see that there will be verbs where all the three forms of those verbs will be similar. So based on such a categorization, such an analysis, we've got another categorization that we will discuss at a later stage, right? So we're just observing that few verbs accept three different forms. Then there are again few verbs that accept two similar and the third different form. And then there are verbs that will all be same. So let's check them out. We've got wake, woke, woken. We've got eat, ate, eaten. All these have three different forms. Bite, bit, bitten. Three different forms. Then here the first example says cut, cut and cut. All three forms are similar, right? So there are others as well like put, shut, right? Spread. Sting, stung, stung. In the third example on this table, we see that there is a verb that accepts two similar forms, whereas the third is different. So it happens. This is how English rolls. This is how any language rolls. Then again, you've got three different forms: do, did, done, undo, undid, undone, understand, understood, understood. Now, children, this is this is something that has to be accepted exactly as it is. There is no other modification that can be made to the three forms that are decisively told and taught to every other person who's willing to learn English. Now, in this way, I would rather say this is not an exercise to cram. This is not an exercise for rote learning. How you deal with such exercises is to practice. The more you practice, the more regularization of your brains with such words become. And if you don't practice, it's a fair bit of chances that you might forget with time or as the time passes, right? So let's practice up to perfection. I've quoted ample lot of words here as examples, this tabular method. So children, this is it for today. It's definitely a very short video, quite interactive, but then if there are queries, I'm always available. So I invite your queries, I welcome your queries. Children, until then, play safe, stay healthy, and please listen to what your parents tell you. This is a highly critical time that we are going through, and of course hard times as well. So stay blessed, keep safe. Thank you. God bless all.